dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hello everyone!
What's going
on?
on?
Again, Laymen Live. Now I got my Back to the Future hat on today because we're going back to the news of the future.
Wow.
We're coming back to the future to tell you what happened in the news in the past. That kind of doesn't make sense, but that's what we're doing with Laymen Live, everyone. We're here. Let's talk about the smaller news that didn't make the cut, that didn't get to be memed.
Or just stuff that happened in the last 24 hours. And there
True.
actually has been a little bit of stuff that's gone
Or
down.
the last few hours,
but
actually.
first, Sam, let's just take it
Okay.
slow, man.
Let's just take it slow.
ease in, okay?
All right.
You're always in such a rush,
Sorry,
Sam,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, sorry. I'm usually pretty quick.
Tell us, Sam, how was your holiday to Japan?
Okay, Japan was incredible. It's the second time I've been there. I had the best time. I went with a few lads and we had a great time. Did the Mario Kart, which was incredible. Second time I've done it. Equally as good as the first time I've done it. It was awesome. We went and saw Sumo. Okay, so Thick Boy for the first time. Got to see what he should be doing with his life. Okay,
That's true.
He's inspired
That's
now.
true.
Okay, and I had a great time. We just hit the town a bit. It was awesome. It was good to get away for a bit. I didn't get to go to the Tokyo Game Show.
You didn't see Kojima?
Didn't see Kojima, but for tax purposes, I did see the Tokyo Game Show. Okay.
That's right.
But it was really great. And then I'm back, and I still feel a bit jet lagged, even if it's only an hour difference.
It's literally an hour. It's not jet lag. It's just that you partied
I
and
partied a
constantly
bit.
stayed up till like 3 a.m.
Yes, it was very taxing on the body. Okay, and we also did a stream there, but it was great. And then we're back. And look, during that time, I actually got to play Link's Awakening, which was incredible. Finished it 2 days ago. And I played some Overwatch and Smash in between. Ralph, how have you been, and what games have you played?
I've been fantastic. Haven't had to.
Well, he didn't go to Tokyo.
I know, right? Well, actually, I was going to go to Tokyo, but then I cancelled that trip because Borderlands 3 was coming out that week, and then also Destiny was meant to come out like the following week before they delayed it. So this whole plan was for me to come along with them to Japan and just like party, and then that fell through, and then now, cool. Now I'm just like playing video games.
When I got the call, Ralph's like, I can't come, and everyone was like, is he coming? No. Yes. Oh man, that sucks, dude. I'm so sorry to hear that. We're gonna have a lesser time now. Woo! No, it did suck there, but he will be here, hopefully there next year. But you did play Ghost Recon.
Well, I played a few things this week. So first of all, I played The Surge 2. There's a review on Shillup's channel.
Don't check it out.
It's pretty good. I was actually really impressed by it. If you like The Surge 1, you're gonna like this. If you like Soulsborne type games, you're probably gonna like this. I recommend just checking it out. You know, maybe it feels like it might be like a wait for sale kind of game for a lot of people, but I really enjoyed it. It's like 20 solid hours in my book, so check it out. Then I play a little bit of Code Vein, which is like Weeb Dark Souls. There's some big anime titties in this game.
Really?
Oh, man. The
I did not
first
know
character
that.
you
I
meet,
think we should do a review of that.
She's just falling out of this top, man. It's just like this
Dead or
top
alive.
is straining to hold it all in, you know?
Interesting. We're going to do an impressions on that in the next 2 days, guys. Don't worry.
So I played some Code Vein. It's pretty good. I think I put about 6 or 7 hours into it. I enjoyed it, but then I kind of was like, I just played a Soulsborne. I'm going to take a bit of a break. Then I played Ghost Recon Breakpoint. We're going to do, I think, an impressions video on it soon.
I haven't got a chance to jump onto it yet.
Soon.
Tomorrow I'll probably play it. Then it'll probably be Monday's video, unless some huge EA news like Andrew Wilson dies or something. Then we'll have to do that one, of course. But apart from that, what else have you been? You've been playing Final Fantasy 14, of course.
Well, let me just say on Breakpoint, by the way, it's
it's cool.
Pretty shitty. Like it's not
Give
the
the
worst.
impressions away.
We'll get the impression TLDR, the spoiler alert on the impressions that it kind of sucks. It's not the worst game ever. I wouldn't even say it's a bad game. I would just say it's so meh and so confused and so like so many shitty ideas just kind of rammed together without any kind of vision behind it. So
I haven't played it yet, so I might have the complete opposite. I might be like, this is the greatest game ever.
Game of the year.
Move over Breath of the Wild and God of War, everyone. Just move over.
Yep. So anyway, that's what I played, and then there was obviously news this week, which I guess we should get down to. But first, it looks like we've already got
$50 dudes. Holy shit!
So let's just knock over these
very nice.
super chats.
Okay,
we got Goku saying, "What's up? Welcome back, Goku."
As always, thank you. What's up, man?
Orochi says, "I heard you don't like EFAP. Is that true?"
I think everyone likes a good old EFAP.
There you go.
Let's be real.
That settles that debate.
Okay.
Adam, the £2. Sam, did you go to a maid cafe?
I actually walked past many of them, but we were planning to go in just to, do a bit of research, everyone, for Tokyo. I didn't go in, sadly.
Nice.
I did not go in. But they're like outside in the maid outfits trying to get you to come in. They see some foreigners, a bunch of blokes are like, oh, these guys will come in. But actually, we didn't go in. We did plan to do it, but we didn't get a chance.
And Eric with $5 says, Sam's hat has given me eye cancer.
It's very cool.
You're welcome.
Cass, I got this at PAX Melbourne, actually.
Zinth, speaking of PAX, by the way, I'm going to be at PAX Australia in 2 weeks' time. I'm going to be at the Razer booth and at the AMD booth. Check my Twitter. I've got details for that.
Speaking of that, I will not be there, everybody.
No one wants me there. I was like, Razor's like, do you want to come? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Do you want to bring my brother as well? They're like,
that's a deal breaker.
We'll let you know about that one.
Yeah.
Let's lock you in for now.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right. Zinth with $50, extremely generous. Thank you, my friend. Evening from the US. Jealous of you and your trip to Japan. Drop some spicy memes and crap on some shady devs for me. I'm going to save the full stream for tomorrow work. Well, thank you very much. It's very generous.
Appreciate you, man.
it.
Thank you so much.
Let's get right to the news, guys. What is going on this week that we've missed? Actually, this has just come out in the last 24 hours. I think this is pretty rad. Okay.
Oh wait, are we doing that one first?
We're doing this one first. This is the thumbnail. This is what people came for, man.
I thought we were going to do the other Spidey thing. No,
we'll come to that.
we'll come to that later. Oh,
So-
that's a spoiler for
So
future.
this obviously is a story that sadly we didn't get to cover because Sam was on holidays.
Yep.
A lot of you might have heard about this whole Fallout 76 helm debacle, or Fallout helm debacle, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Which is that there was a Nuka-Cola themed power armor helmet being sold at GameStop, not included with the collector's edition for Fallout 76. It was a separate thing that they got made that was sold at GameStop, and it's being recalled now because basically it has mold in it. It has excessive mold buildup, which can be an inhalation concern. That's already amazing, can I say? That's the best.
I think people are getting sick from playing Fallout, and I think they're not understanding there's a difference there. Okay, there might be some mold in there, but it's the amount of hours you've put into Fallout that has made you sick, people. It's important also to mention that this is actually not. It's not a first-party thing, like in terms of it wasn't created by Bethesda, but I believe it was made by the same company, right? That made the first-party helmets.
I understand that to be the case.
Yes. So allegedly, that is
allegedly.
correct. So I mean, who knows if the other ones are also having similar problems? Because if they're going to be coming off the same conveyor belt. Maybe there's some mold in there too, but I mean, let's face it. Just Fallout. I mean,
look at them now. They're the same thing. They just have a different skin color. Do you know what I mean?
It's been spray painted.
It's like, just classic Bethesda reskin. You know?
Yeah, with the bugs and all.
So that was the first part of the story. Again, didn't get to cover it. Very sad times. Fantastic meme where Jim Sterling in his video just said Fallout 76 is cursed. Anything to do with this game, because there was the duffel bags. Don't forget.
Yes.
And there was also the Nuka-Cola where they had these awesome bottles, and then they ended up just being like not the bottles, they were just shitty plastic ones.
Yes.
And now it's the helmets have mold in them. Fallout 76 is cursed.
Every single item that is attached, be it the game or any sort of merchandise that is attached to this game, has been a giant meme.
Yes.
I can't think of one thing that I've been like, yep, that's successfully launched. Like, not one.
Okay, now this is the best part of this whole story, though. I don't think you have. I don't even know if you read this. This is why we're doing this story today. Okay.
And I was like, I don't think you've read this.
No. I think you read the headline, but you didn't read all the way to the bottom. This is the best part.
Here we go.
Update September 25th. After our article was published, a representative from Chronicle Collectibles reached out to us to let us know that of the 20,000 Nuka-Cola themed helmets that were manufactured, only 32 were sold. 32!
Oh my god.
It says that all of those customers were directly notified about the recall. All 20,000 units have been recalled.
They can actually just call them in an hour.
They can!
That's not
They'd
even...
be like, oi, listen, Phil, g'day, mate. Yep. You're the guy that buys the Fallout stuff, aren't you? Yep, you're one of the 32. Wow. Okay, yep, no worries. Mate, you got mold. Don't breathe it in.
That is crazy.
32 out of 20,000. Like, that is the best thing I've ever heard. I just... couldn't believe it.
I think I sold more albums than that.
And we all know how well Sam's album sold.
Yeah, the platinum album, everybody. New headline. Sam does better than Fallout.
But it just goes to show you how much their brand has been damaged as a result of Fallout 76. And this was something that I was sort of talking about on Twitter yesterday, which was that, like, this time 12 months ago, Fallout 76 was a few weeks out, okay? And we were all kind of excited.
Had you played the beta yet?
No, the beta wasn't live yet.
No, it wasn't, right? It was only 3 weeks before, I believe.
Yeah, it was really
cool.
close. Because for that specific reason, where they're like, we don't want anyone to see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So back then, I mean, a lot of people had already given up on Bethesda for a variety of reasons, but I think most people, myself included, still liked Bethesda.
They were still cool.
I was like, yeah, cool. You guys are putting out cool titles. I really like what they were doing with Arcane Studios. That was great. Doom 2016 was fantastic. Because Arcane did Prey, which I thought was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I was like, cool, Bethesda are still, putting out interesting shit. I like it. Monetization-wise with the Creation Club, with, Skyrim and the like, that was disappointing. But no publisher is perfect.
Yeah.
We saw that yesterday with Mario Kart and Nintendo. But I was like, overall, on balance, Bethesda's pretty good. But since then, like, the fall from grace from Bethesda over the last 12 months has been absolutely staggering.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you think of, Fallout 3, in terms of, and also Skyrim, like, there might have been some bugs and stuff, but people felt like they were genuinely pushing the industry forward. And yes, id Studios is different, but it's connected to Bethesda. They also had Doom 2016. There was games that were like, people were like, well, there might be some problems here and there, but there's no... you can't deny that Bethesda at that point was making solid stuff that, was getting the attention of the audience.
Yeah.
Now they're getting the attention of the audience in a different way.
Yeah.
Just like... absolute meme fest.
From Rage 2 just being mediocre and microtransactions in there, and then
wizard codes and shit.
Wolfenstein Youngblood, just the second biggest meme of the year after Anthem.
Their last good game was Wolfenstein New Colossus, I think. 2017 or whatever.
Yeah, like, a lot of people didn't like that as well.
Oh, I love that.
So either way, 32 helmets sold, I think, is a pretty spectacular headline. It really just shows you how little interest there is in the Fallout brand since it all went down.
I mean, can you imagine what happens with the next Fallout? I mean, they will make one. It's just a question of, like, how hard can we meme it? Like, that is the real question.
We will find a way.
I will find a way. Don't worry. Speaking of that, there is going to be another Jurassic Park World 2021 with the original cast.
I'm excited about the original cast.
I want to see them all come back.
Yeah,
he has to do the line, life will find a way. I want to hear that.
I love that guy
I love that
much.
dude. He has so much class and just coolness.
Jeff Goldblum is the best.
He's honestly the epitome of how you want to grow old. Like,
yeah.
I want to look like that. I want to look cool.
And be that way.
And lanky looking, because I'm tall like him. Like, I can be it. And
Someone
grey hair and
said
shit.
that the more I see of Jeff Goldblum, the more I think that he's an alien trying to impersonate a human.
So true.
And doing a pretty lousy job of it.
He would be great in Men in Black. He would have been a great alien.
Yes,
anyway,
definitely.
well, that's what they need to do next time, everybody.
So we got some more super chats here. TNT Fishing Australia. Okay, love you guys.
I
wanna
think
come
I met
fishing-
him once.
Really?
I think I met him at PAX once.
No
we had
way.
a good chat about, maybe.
About fishing?
Yes, about he had a fishing channel.
No way. There
Maybe
you go.
it's him. Maybe he'll just say it's him now. Who knows?
There you go. Thanks very much for the $10, dude. Do you want to come fishing in the South Coast? To be honest,
It's on.
I've done fishing once. Not my thing.
I've done fishing many times, be it in recently Link's Awakening, also World of Warcraft. Plenty of fishing.
Sam would just put the rod in that thing that holds it, and then he would just play Switch the whole time.
I mean, it's a pretty good way to spend it, though. It really
King
is.
Yogi $5 says sup Laymen. Sup King
man.
Yogi.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Jiggly Puff McNasty $5. Thank you, dude.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Bartos with £20. Thank you very much. Very
thank you
generous.
very
There was a
much.
video making the rounds of the internet of a man punching a kangaroo which was choking a dog.
it's ages ago.
Is that man now considered a national hero in the land down under? I remember that video.
Yes, the actual kangaroo got the medal.
It did.
Yes.
He
but
now
that's
trains prize fighters.
Yes.
So,
that's an old video, but that is still a good video. That's what you have to expect if you're going to work in a city, okay? If there's going to be a kangaroo, you probably have to punch on with it.
You do.
Okay?
King Novak with $10. Thank you very much, dude. Welcome back. Have some coffee on me. Also wonder if you guys follow the AFL Grand Final. Absolutely. That's the one with the oval ball, right?
I'm pretty sure that's the one with the ball, right? And it
think-
goes for like 80 minutes.
I think the team that is popular won, and I'm very happy about that
really
because I'm a
happy
big
about
supporter
that.
of that team. So
Yes.
go that team.
Do you know that Melbourne, actually, like Aussie talk for quickly, they get a
national
day off,
holiday.
and we don't.
You don't get a day off in America for your Super Bowl.
Oh, they
get-
don't?
No.
Oh, I thought they would have.
I don't think so. No, there's a Super Bowl day. There's no like UEFA Champions Day off like in Europe, but Australians in Melbourne for
They also
like
get Melbourne Cup
one little
off.
regional football match, the whole city, the whole state gets a day off.
Yeah, they also get
Unbelievable.
Melbourne Cup off, but everyone...
Yes, and a horse race.
Everyone takes Melbourne Cup off.
I
really.
don't know if anyone knows this in Australia, but like we have a horse race called the Melbourne Cup, and on that day nobody does any work.
Everyone goes to work
They
for
go
about
to
2
work
hours.
in the morning, and then all the companies like put on a boozy lunch,
Yeah.
and then no one goes back to work. It's basically a public holiday on the company dime
Yeah.
for a horse race.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Let's have a Melbourne Cup
it's
every
perfectly
week.
Australian. Echo Base Network $2. Your thoughts on Star Wars and the Fandom Menace?
I don't know if
I don't know about that. personally. I heard
heard
that,
that.
they're working. That what's his name? Kevin Feige is working with Kathleen Kennedy on a new Star Wars.
I heard that.
I worry about anything that Kathleen Kennedy's involved in personally, but that's a whole other discussion.
I don't think the recent Star Warses are good at all, and it's going to be interesting to see that. More from Echo Base.
Hey, so do you guys like Game Chasers? Don't know what it is. Apologies. Thank you for the
again.
awesome content, Christian. Thank you very much, dude. And have we played Jedi Outcast on PS4 Switch? No, we have not. Dude,
No.
you're really hitting those.
You're really
questions.
man.
I wish we had
appreciate
more
that.
answers for you.
I'm a bit. Yeah, I feel bad now. We don't have the answers for you, man.
So hopefully next time we will give you an answer.
Hopefully.
Because we'll actually have one. So anyway, let's go to some good news now. This is a feel-good story.
Spider-Man.
Luckily, Spider-Man is back in the Marvel Comics universe. There was obviously very publicly a few weeks ago news that Sony and Disney.
There we go.
I was like, who owns Marvel? Oh, Disney. That's
I
right.
thought we were
of
having a
course.
Windows shutdown
We
moment then.
did actually. There was news that they couldn't reach an agreement, essentially because, I mean, I think what the word was that, like, Disney was trying to bend Sony over, being like, listen, you know that everyone wants this to happen, we want it for a bargain price, and Sony said, no,
And
fuck
Sony,
you.
I mean, look, I'm glad that, well, I don't know how it ended up getting done, who knows, but, like, Sony is doing really well with Spider-Man at the moment, like, they don't need to have the Avengers attached to it, but it's good that they do. Apparently, Tom Holland did unfollow either Marvel or Disney on Twitter. Burn, everybody. Ultimate burn. That's probably the hardest burn you'll get from Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
He's
think
so
he would
nice.
ever say, he's like the young Keanu Reeves. He's a young Keanu Reeves. Everyone loves him.
He's pretty wholesome. He's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
quite
and
wholesome.
also, what's his name? Jeff Goldblum. He's the old Keanu Reeves. Everyone loves him too.
That's true.
Anyway,
I
that's
think they're
enough
probably
Keanu
the
Reeves.
same age with Keanu Reeves and Jeff
Actually,
Goldblum.
so true.
So
true.
look, anyway, it says here that there's going to be at least 2 more MCU Spider-Man films, which is great. Beyond that, don't really know. Either way, it's good news for Disney because now they get to print all the money. Hopefully, Sony got theirs in the end as well, as in like got paid properly for it, as opposed to getting
I mean,
completely
but
screwed.
what other stuff are they going to be doing with him apart from Stark? Spoiler: I don't think he's around anymore, everyone. So I mean, is there going to be?
They'll bring him back, man.
They'll bring him back somehow. It'll be
do
some
it.
ugly zombie or something. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Kill Mysterio or some shit.
Nice, Sam.
Nice.
Good. They'll reuse the same villain and bring someone back from
Why
the
not?
dead.
I would watch it.
Sam's going to be the next MCU showrunner, man. He's just-
I reckon I could be a villain.
He's got all the big ideas.
I can be a
Okay,
villain.
now this story is quite funny, I thought. So let's talk about this one.
All right, let's do a funny story for once on Laymen.
So, Anthem Cataclysm event quietly returns after players complain of nothing to do, right? So, okay,
It's so much to do on Anthem.
so Anthem, we've been pretty fair with Anthem, I think. I don't think we've overspanked this story.
I actually, to be honest, I still think we've been fair. Yes, we've overspanked. We've overspanked, fine. That's what YouTubers gonna do. But like, we've been fair every time we've covered this. Like, it's a legitimate meme every single time. It's for them to bring it back to shows that they have no. I don't think.
Well, let's talk about the news first.
Okay,
Sam.
we'll get
Okay, let's just
Alright,
cover the actual news story first.
see what they
Sam.
say.
So, it looks like Anthem Cataclysm might be here for good as BioWare Weekly Reset reactivates most of its content. Okay? So, basically, the Cataclysm event was the much touted event. What is this stupid ad? That was,
What kind of ads are you getting around?
I don't know, man. This looks like
Boys just having a swim together.
I was going to say, it looks like a credit card
yeah,
ad.
sure.
It's a credit card ad, sure.
Yes.
So anyway, let's just put that away. Who knows what ad will pop up next? So basically, Cataclysms were those events that were much touted as part of their roadmap plans for Anthem. They're like, oh my god, it's our first major content drop. You're gonna love it, guys. It's gonna be amazing. Turned out to be absolute garbage. Just flying around a big island with like a blue filter on your screen.
yeah.
And
weather.
then they had some unique rewards, I think, maybe. And it was meant to be a timed event, because that's what's cool to do nowadays in like these live service games. You have to have FOMO, you have to have fear of missing out. Everything has to be a timed event. This was a timed event, and then it was meant to disappear this week, and then it didn't disappear this week. It kind of mysteriously reactivated, because the player base was basically complaining, listen, we got nothing else to do when you're taking away the one event that we have. What's up with that?
I think that, this game is dead. They're not doing anything for it, guys. It's not coming back. For the fanboys of Anthem, I'm sorry to tell you, but this is...
There are no fanboys of Anthem, man.
The 3 fanboys, I saw a photo the other day of, there was 5 people on Twitch watching Anthem. And they're all devs.
They're all
devs.
Or dev bots.
They're all dev bots, okay? Yeah. They're all Russian bots or something, right? This game, they have no faith in it. I really don't think they have any faith in it. I really think that they're like, okay, cool, skeleton stuff. Let's move on to the next thing.
They did actually recently cancel their roadmap, right?
Yes.
Now, again, that's another story we didn't cover because you were on holiday. Well done, Sam. Going away when all the big news drops.
Sorry.
But the word with this was that, obviously Anthem had a roadmap with all of its acts, major content drops, major features, major stuff. The first thing that we heard a while back was that we're going to get rid of the timeline for that. So we're going to deliver it when we're good and ready, because all the stuff was behind schedule.
Which is a trend now. When a company or a game just loses complete faith in itself or its ability to actually deliver, they just go, oh, it's coming. We're just going to take away any kind of stress or pressure to deliver it to you guys.
Yeah. So that was part 1. And then part 2, which happened like last week, same in Japan, yes. was that they had basically cancelled their acts. What they said was they're going to be focusing on the core gameplay loop. What I think they were really saying is we are not going to be making any more new content for this game.
Exactly right.
We are just focusing on minor tweaks to like improve the, like gunplay here and there, maybe some drop rate,
I actually
bullshit,
don't even
whatever
think
else.
that's going to happen.
Like minor stuff.
I really think that's them just saying, look, we need to have something to say, but in reality, we're just getting everyone ready for the fact that this game is done.
But don't forget, they keep like Star Wars: The Old Republic online for many years on what feels like life support status. So I think it's the same sort of thing with this.
That's what I mean. I think it's a skeleton stuff, and they're moving on in terms of. I don't think they're going to be bringing any innovation or new content. They're going to be going, okay, reset button. Let's put most, if not all, our team onto something new that has a better shot.
Sure, no, I completely agree. So anyway, that's what's happening, the latest with Anthem. Guys, if you want to get in and play the Cataclysm, don't miss your chance.
Don't miss your chance.
They might say they're going to remove it and then actually just bring it back.
Exactly.
So
don't miss your chance, guys.
Don't miss your chance
Jump
to
in
continuously play this thing, which is clearly there all the time.
Yes.
So Adnan Javed with £2. Thank you very much. Greetings from Scotland. I've not been. Actually, no, I haven't been to Scotland.
I want to be to Scotland. I want to go to Scotland. I want to go to there. I want to go to there.
Thank you very much, dude. Colton, still waiting on part 2 of the Division review. Of the Division 1 review. Dude, that's already out. That was out a long time ago. I think you mean Division 2 review. We might get to that one day. Who knows? I'm very busy at the moment. We'll do that after the Sekiro review. Okay, let's say that.
Yeah.
And decidedly average $15. Love you guys, your content. Have fun running into Ralph on Final Fantasy the other day. Oh, right. He was playing. Nice.
Very nice.
See you, man. Thanks very much. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. What's next, Sam? What's our next story? Oh, FIFA. So this one here, look, I'm not going to pretend I care about this at all because I don't. I'm just going to tell you that this is the thing that people are talking about, but I couldn't possibly...
I don't really care either. Oh, wait, we're live. Guys, FIFA, all right? Woo!
FIFA, yeah. So basically... FIFA is the new game mode that's coming out as part of launch is really busted in a lot of different ways. The community is really upset about it.
All those casuals are upset, everyone.
And they're so funny as well. There was some part of it here that was so because this guy's like made a thing here. It's like EA shut down our forum in an attempt to silence the community. I have posted 8 new bugs in the forum, and EA shut it down immediately after posting. This is where we currently are. Shame on you, EA. As in, like EA has any fucking shame. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
This guy must be new to the whole EA discussion. This guy's new to the EA discussion. Okay.
So the TLDR on it is that there's a career mode in FIFA. It apparently has heaps of bugs and it's broken. It's gonna ship like that on day 1, and there might be a patch afterwards that fixes it. I mean, I just don't care in the slightest, and I feel that anyone that buys FIFA at this point, like, what do you expect, man? What do you actually expect?
It's not even about, like, do we care? It's more like, I know EA knows when they need to, like, talk about things and not. They know that the FIFA audience are not going to put up a huge, like...
I don't care.
They don't care about this stuff. Like, if it kind of works... live sneeze for Laymen Gaming. They know that the live audience are not going to hang on as much as they would to like Star Wars Battlefront 2, or Anthem for that matter. They're just not going to care.
Yeah, true.
Anyway,
that
next
story. I agree with that. So, okay, now this story is pretty. I think it's important. This one, and I think it's it's fair. I see both sides of this one. Okay, so this one here, Modern Warfare dev asks angry fans to ease up on ultra dark, toxic comments, right?
Okay.
So there's a fair amount of text to read through here. Are we on that screen? We're on that screen. So Infinity Ward art director Joel Emsley reminded everyone that real people are making the game, and they read the comments. Let me read this stuff to you because I think it's kind of interesting.
Let's get demonetized.
No, we're not actually reading the comments. We're reading his response. So basically, he went on Twitter. On Reddit, and posted up like, "Hey guys, let's keep it in check." Because what's going on right now is that there's 2 things basically within COD. Number one, people are really upset that there's going to be a game mode specific to PS4 for a year. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. You're talking about a game that dies every year because they keep releasing a new one.
Yep.
To have a game mode specifically locked away for, like, you know, PS4 only players for an entire year is complete rubbish, very anti-consumer.
Yep.
The blame lays squarely at the feet of Sony and Activision.
Yeah,
'Cause they're the
mostly
ones that-
Sony. I mean, Activision too, of
It's
course.
both,
But,
it's
like,
both.
it's definitely both. But we did a meme review about that a few days ago. Check it out.
So that's the background. The other thing is that supply drops, and it's crazy to me, but like the COD community is literally like incensed at the idea that Call of Duty is going to have like pay to win loot boxes and stuff. Dude, of course they are, man. It's fucking Call of Duty, man. They're going to do that all the time. It's just a case of how bad it gets. And it's like, well, it's exactly what we'd expect here. It's already been discovered that they're going to have these sort of like loot box supply drop stuff in the beta. The developer is unwilling to comment on that yet because they don't want to talk about monetization before the reviews are all out. They want to keep that out of the review cycle. That's how publishers do these days.
All games
That's
are
the
like
background.
that now.
Yes.
I can't think the last game that actually was very open and honest with review code, with their monetization.
They all lock it
They
down.
all do it now.
Yeah.
They all do it now.
So he says this: we are a mixed bag of nerds, jocks, and everything in between. So jocks, nerds,
Yes.
just a framework.
Standard.
It's amazing, but we all get along, come together every day to build something that we believe in. We've dedicated our careers to being the best at what we do and making the best possible game we can make. That's corny, but at the same time, this is a job, and if you work at a job and aren't successful, then eventually there is no job. Almost all of us have worked in the industry for long enough to know that if we don't make good games, then no one will play it. Public forums like Reddit are part of the process of gathering thoughts and feedback on the state of games, both while they're in development and after they've been released. But amidst the useful, helpful feedback are ultra dark, toxic comments that tell me how incompetent and stupid I must be, and how I should go away somewhere else where I can't harm people and with my bad ideas and my artwork.
I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than that.
Well, I'm sure that there is
Yeah,
worse
I'm
than that,
sure
but he's
there
giving
is.
a very sanitized
Yeah, I'm
version of
sure.
it. We've all read forums, man.
Sure.
Just read our comment section. Like, Infinity Ward developers have thick skins, he says, but sometimes it can get to you. I understand that there are people here that have things going on in their lives, and they're upset about something to do with the game, and they need to get the poison out and feel like they're being listened to. You are, and yeah, go for it, but keep it clean and maybe even a little creative. I think people are pretty creative, to be honest,
like
already.
the
When it comes to
forums,
that, get it out
pretty
of your
creative.
system. But remember, there's a team of human beings here at Infinity Ward, and we have crappy days just like you.
Look,
our interest, Sam, if
More
I
of the
may,
reading. This is full Yong now.
this is going full Yong. Our interest is entirely in the game itself. There are some announcements that have come up this week that are official and some that are rumors. My ask of all of you is that you focus on information that is actually fact and not get thrown off by ill-informed people that want to make a name for themselves by spreading half-baked inflammatory rumors. Not pointing any
Like and
fingers.
subscribe, everybody.
Like and subscribe.
Look, I mean, we've always said this though from the beginning that our problems are never. It sounds like he's saying that that people are getting angry and saying harmful things to the devs,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Our message has always been: look, we're not angry at the devs. We think that the devs, of course, want to make a great game. They're putting their heart and soul into anything, be it an EA game, Activision game, or CD Projekt Red game. The devs really just want to make the best game possible. It's upper management. It's the actual publishers.
For sure.
It's the people that run those companies that make those big decisions that they just have to, of course, comply with.
Like, even
you know?
Fallout 76, for example, it's like, it probably wasn't the devs' fault that Fallout 76 was
Sure.
garbage. It was like, they probably called out all these issues and be like, hey, listen, man, our game is not ready to go. This is in a really bad state. And it was obviously Bethesda, like, higher-ups, that were like, fuck it, ship it anyway. You know?
yeah.
So,
I mean,
very often not the developer's fault. The people at the coalface, they don't get paid much money, man. They
Yeah.
work so hard and they get crunched to high heaven, and then they obviously get abused in person for their stuff. I think that is unfair when that happens and people are personally attacked.
Look, we at E3 we got a chance to meet some devs at EA. I met some devs at Bethesda that were working on Fallout, and they were very passionate and lovely people. And I got the chance to have a chat with them and even clarify some of those things, because some of them did have questions, you know, in terms of like, do we hate all the devs and stuff? Like, no, we don't. Like, it's not about that, you know. There's a lot of people that just want to make the best game possible. So I can see where this guy's coming from in terms of, you know, direct the comments to the appropriate people. You
Yes,
know?
agreed.
And also, sure, you know, keep them classy. Like, I get that. I totally get that. Having said that,
He did. Go on, yeah. Go on.
having said that, there also should always be a forum and a public space that people can voice their opinion and show their anger, but they have to do it in the right way, because it usually comes from a place of they genuinely love the game or they're looking forward to the game and they just want the game to be as best as possible.
Agreed. One user said in response that Infinity Ward is effectively fanning the flames by not providing information on topics that gamers are upset about, like supply drops. My intent and ask is simple, Emsley replied. Focus on official announcements.
Okay, that's...
Now, this is shitty because he's being like, he's just pick and choosing here, which is like, just focus on the propaganda that we feed you and don't focus on the underlying facts that you know are going to affect your gameplay experience. So I really agree with what he said here, which is don't personally attack devs unless the devs themselves are being dirtbags, which sometimes does happen. We've seen that before, but most of the time it's the companies that are doing it. But this part I really disagree with here, which is like, just let us feed you the information we want to feed you and exclude the rest and just talk about that, man.
Yeah.
I think that is really shitty because obviously we should know about how this game is going to be monetized in future. If you're going to spend money on it, then you have a right to know how the long tail monetization works because it will affect your gameplay. They specifically don't tell you that because they know they've got bullshit lined up for you and they expect you just to sit there silently and cop it. You know what I mean?
The moment you have to put $1 down, you deserve the right to know how much extra you will need to put in.
Totally.
Totally. Free to play, even then, I would like to know what the actual free to play model is, but I think that's a little bit, you can kind of get away with that more because in order to install that and start playing it, it's not costing you anything, it's only costing you a bit of time, fine. But, again, it's a $70 game or whatever. Like, that's a lot of money to invest before you even know what you're settling up for, And it's such a recurring trend, Like, it's really kind of... Over the last year, I think we've just seen it with every game. But even before then, when we were doing reviews when Laymen first started, I felt like the monetization was accessible more prior to launch.
When I started reviewing games, I'm pretty sure I could see monetization before it went live.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that happened. Yeah. So that I think has changed in the last 18 months. And that's, I think,
and I can see why they do it, but it's just a shitty reason why they do it.
It makes a lot of sense. Like, it's smart business to get this stuff out of your review cycle, so everyone can just be like, game is fantastic, guys. But I've certainly learned my lesson from that as a reviewer, and that's something that I definitely plan to bring with future titles. So, for example, Breakpoint, I'm going to probably do a review, or like a preview impressions on it, and I don't know what the monetization is yet for that game, but as I look at this game, and I look at Ubisoft's approach to monetization, I'm going to be like, oh, listen... This is gonna get fucking weird. There's some really crazy bullshit already in Breakpoint that I'm like, they're gonna monetize the hell out of this game. And while I can't see it yet, I'm pretty sure it's coming, and I definitely plan to make my audience aware of it.
I definitely see also a trend in YouTube potentially where, at the moment, there seem to be like a two-pronged approach, like impressions, reviews. I can definitely see down the track where it will become pretty stock standard to even have a three-pronged approach in terms of review, impression, then monetization structure, That's something that we could definitely do in the future. When a game comes out and they drop the monetization, we revisit that game 3 weeks later. We're like, okay, this is how it works.
Naturally happens, though, to be honest with you. I think there are very often articles that are like,
there's definitely
how
articles.
Microtransactions work in Gears of War after the reviews.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm seeing that trend already, but I feel like that might become more and more common practice with just a natural review process for YouTubers,
Sure.
So, anyway, what else? We got some people saying things.
We do. Someone asked, do I play Classic WoW? Not yet.
That's December.
I'm waiting for December because I need to get my Final Fantasy review out
I might
first.
do that with you. I'm like level 10 or something.
Are you already? I'm not even level 10. I'm like level 4 in Classic WoW.
No, level 10, man. I'm epic right now. Yeah.
So, we've got here from, what did it say? John Bailey with Canadian $10. Thank you.
We missed the DKK.
No, we got him. No, where is he?
Up.
Oh my god, this is annoying.
There we go.
I got Colton before.
Oh, you did. Sorry, my bad.
With the Donkey Kong.
Oh,
the Donkey Kong coins. Can't wait for Sam's new album. Sam is recording a new album right now, guys.
We'll see how much it actually is, but for now it's one song.
And he says, skill up better than Racevic. That's a damn lie. You take that back. Keep the memes coming, boys. Thank you very much. Love from Vancouver. Thank you. Appreciate
Message
you.
delete by Nitro.
$5, nerd.
Thank you. Nitro, whatever it is, we trust you. But thank you for the $5.
Jarvis with £5 says, where can I get your album, Sam? You've got a great voice. Side note,
nice.
I'm a game designer and can concur. Nice. Where can they get your album, Sam?
Spotify, guys. Spotify. And that's
and also like those record stores that sell like ironically bad records.
And the places that don't even have a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where it is, guys.
Correct.
So check it out. And Spotify.
And Drowning Clown, I don't think it's fair to blame Sony. They are a proponent, but the onus lies solely on Activision. I doubt Sony has much of an actual say in what is provided exclusively. That's 100% incorrect, Drowning Clown. Appreciate the $10.
I appreciate that,
but Sony literally pitch Activision and say, we will pay you a bucket of money to make content exclusive on our platform. How about that? You know what I mean? So this is absolutely also on Sony as much as it is Activision.
Sure, or they might have just created this content and Sony was like, well, before you release that, why don't you just give that to us? You know, like... I don't think Activision ever would have gone to Sony and been like, hey, we got some exclusive content, give us all this money. I think it's the other way around. You know?
Sure. And Nopu Von Sapage with €10. Keep up the good work, and the memes boys love you from Ireland.
Love you too, buddy.
Friend.
Cheers,
so
mate.
let's keep going, shall we? What's next?
I feel like this is going to be a full hour.
We were worried that we didn't have much news.
I didn't think this is going to be a full... I don't think there's been a single Laymen that we haven't made the 50-minute mark.
Well, we are YouTubers, and if there's one thing we can do, it's fill airtime.
Exactly, and put plenty of ads.
Nice, Sam.
Nice.
So, okay, this is a story that's a follow-up to our video yesterday. Mario Kart Tour smashes records on day one, hits 10.1 million installs. Now, we did a story yesterday talking about the fact that Mario Kart Tour is heinous. Like, it's abhorrent.
The worst thing I've ever played.
The worst driving game I've ever played on a mobile.
All accounts.
And also, it has the worst monetization, where it has a mixture of loot boxes and gacha, and also a subscription where their best game mode is locked behind a $5.99 a month subscription, or like $8 Australian per month to be able to play this game mode. And that's what Nintendo thinks is okay.
In every single aspect, do I think this game sucks? Like, honestly, like, I'm just reiterating what you're saying, but the driving is just horrendous. The monetization. There's nothing that you want to ever log on and go, yep, I want to play some Mario Kart on this phone. Like, I was so excited for it. There were so many ways to actually... They could have easily just taken the... Well, I mean, generally, I don't know. But, like, taken the same driving mechanics, put it in the phone, turn it sideways, just give me a digital, like, left and right. I would have signed up for that. But instead, they do this portrait mode bullshit, and it's horrendous.
So anyway, despite all of this, Mario Kart Tour smashed records on day one, 10.1 million installs. Now, just to give you context for how big that is, this says it all, this graph right here, right? You're talking about... Fortnite on day one on iOS had that, right? But it was already available as a separate launch, I'm sure. Clash Royale had like about what looks like sort of 1.2 million. Pokemon Go, this is like first day installs, by the way, had 6 million. Mario Kart Tour, 10 million installs in the first day. That's gigantic. I mean, just to give you context, like a really massively successful AAA game will sell like probably
8 million.
I think 5 to 6 million copies day one. Okay, now obviously that's $60. That's not free.
Some of them only end up selling 8 or 10 million.
Oh, like I mean, look, Nier Automata, I think, which is one of the best games this generation, has I think only sold about 2 or 3 million copies in total across all platforms and entire life cycle.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they're paid games. This is free. It's a totally different equation. But all the numbers go completely nuts when you talk about mobile. On day one alone, you've got 10 million people that have downloaded this thing. That's nuts. And the question becomes now, how does the monetization work in the long term for this game?
Well, we already know what it looks like.
What to say? Okay, I'll rephrase that. Will it be successful? Because it's so egregious, you have to wonder whether or not they've gone too far, and that even though it's got lots of installs, they don't end up making too much money from it because people think, well, this is stupid, it's too much of a rip-off.
They've definitely gone too far, we know that, but I know where you're going with that in terms of, have they gone too far that people just will not play with it? Like, they just won't sign up for an $8 a month subscription or $5 US. I don't think a lot of people will actually pay that. I really think that most people can still play the 150cc. They'll be like, I can get away with experiencing this full game pretty much without having to sign up and get Mario, which I don't really care about, and play 200cc. I don't think they've monetized this correctly at all. I really think they should have taken a leaf out of pretty much all free-to-play models that aren't pay to win. Skins and cool skins and cars and cosmetics and shit like that. That's the way they should have done it. If I can get like the gold car, which I think you can actually with the $8, and it's a dollar for the gold car or whatever. That's the way to do it. If I was really enjoying Mario Kart, it was tweaked correctly and it felt really good, and they wanted me to pay $1 for the gold car. I'm like, it's a free fucking game. Cool. You're monetizing this correctly, but they haven't done that. So I don't think this will go as well as they think. The install base, I don't think, reflects the money they'll make, personally.
We'll see. I hope so. I honestly hope this game is not successful because I think its monetization is so egregious. I would love to see it fail. I know it feels weird to say that about a Nintendo title, but I legitimately hope that Mario Kart fails.
Yes.
There's a sentence I thought I would never say. So there you go.
Next up, we hope CD Projekt Red fails.
I hope Cyberpunk fails. So we got some more of the super chats. Rhino Flame says, here to support Sam's sweet fashion sense, $22.99. That's very generous.
That's
Thank
very
you, my
nice
friend.
of you. Thank you
Hello
so
from
much.
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas,
Any
Texas.
review for Code Vein? I don't think so, man. I played a little bit of it. TLDR, it's okay. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. It's got some problems. I read a few reviews out there. Most of the reviews, I think, have the right of it, which is like it's a pretty good action RPG Souls type game with, you know, TIG anime biddies. And if you're down for that, then cool, go for it. But it didn't really grab me when I was playing it. It was kind of like, yeah, this is okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd recommend The Surge if you were looking for another Souls-like. But if you want the anime twist, then obviously Code Vein's your boy.
Yeah.
Percy Sosa with $10 says, this is more worth than loot boxes. Support the layman. Thank you very much, friend.
Thank you, man.
Generous.
Appreciate you.
And $50 from Hugh Score. Hey, guys, keep up the good work.
Thank you so
Off topic,
much.
what are your thoughts on whether or not you should see a new Draken or a Star Troopers game? I don't really have thoughts on that. I'm not a huge fan of either of those
I hate not
series.
having answers
I
for
hate
big
especially when you've
donations.
been that
Yeah.
generous. I wish I could say, yeah, man, we need a new Star Troopers game.
I mean,
Starship
we can
Troopers
just
game.
wing it. Star Troopers, man.
Starship
we need that
Troopers.
shit. Starship Troopers, we need that
Definitely.
game right now.
So,
okay.
sorry, man, but we're always going to be honest with you here. We appreciate the donation, dude. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man.
Let's keep it moving now. Next news story is no, that's not the one.
No?
Oh, this is the one actually. Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
So recently,
There was a lot of talk, like, is Naughty Dog going to be doing a multiplayer in Last of Us 2?
yes.
I mean, it looks like a pretty fleshed out world. It looks pretty cool. I could definitely see the scope for something involved, and there's a lot of, a lot of rumors out there.
Well,
but
hang on. There's also the actual multiplayer from The Last of Us Part 1, which was very successful and really loved by its community. I think most people don't know how much The Last of Us multiplayer was, like, beloved by the people that actually played it. I never played it, so I don't know. But every time I hear fans talk about it, they're like, oh my god, that was the best shit ever, and they really, really liked it, okay? So obviously they were onto a pretty good thing with this, and then we heard from The Last of Us 2, when they spoke about it recently, that that's not going to be available in The Last of Us 2, that multiplayer mode is not carrying forward. Fans of that were really upset, because they're like, hey man, this is good shit, why are you not doing that? Here's an update from Naughty Dog about what's going on. We wanted to address multiplayer in The Last of Us Part 2. As we've stated, the single-player campaign is far and away the most ambitious project Naughty Dog has ever undertaken. Likewise, as development began on the evolution of our factions mode from The Last of Us Part 1, the vision of the team grew beyond an additional mode that could be included with our enormous single-player campaign. Wanting to support both versions, we made the difficult choice that The Last of Us Part 2 would not include an online mode. However, you will eventually experience the fruits of our team's online ambition, but not as part of The Last of Us Part 2. When and where it will be realized is still to be determined, but rest assured we are as big a fan of factions as the rest of our community and excited to share more when it's ready.
interesting. So, I mean, I think
What this sort of tells me is that they might be working
New game.
on a standalone game, or perhaps
Online.
perhaps a new franchise where this features as a large component of that franchise. I don't know, but it's weird. It just seems like weird phrasing.
I felt like that was leaning towards like an online service style game that was going to be, multiplayer driven, maybe no single player. It was just going to be you versing other people, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm thinking.
And I think that there's a lot of goodwill there. I mean, people will definitely line up for that. If people loved the first Last of Us Part 1, or whatever you want to call it, multiplayer, then it's a pretty good thing to do then. Like, you've got a lot of people that will give it a chance and will probably buy it day one. You know?
Yeah, for sure. So look, it's good that it's still there. It's good that it's still on the way for hardcore fans, but we will see when it arrives and what the deal is and what have you.
What
but
the dealio.
Naughty Dog, obviously, they make good shit. So, I mean, whatever it is.
we were huge fans
eventually-
of Last of Us.
I still enjoyed The Last of Us. I just didn't
Sure.
think it was the masterpiece
It's-
that everyone
it was
said.
no God of War.
But everyone, it was obviously going to.
It was no God
Here
of
come the
War.
downvotes. Everything
Here we
was
go.
going so well to this point. In other exciting news, Australia's classification board is usually garbage tier, and we hate them. But this time, they did us a
They pulled
favor
through.
because it seems like they've actually kind of outed the existence of Red Dead on PC. This was actually knocked back twice for classification. Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC.
Why? Because you get to like punch a girl or something?
No, because they have like an online editor, right? And this was actually one of the reasons why GTA on PC was knocked back a while back with in Australia as well. Here, it was knocked back twice in terms of classification, and it's just been approved, which means that obviously we can expect Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC pretty soon-ish.
I mean,
if it's getting classified, then it's
getting
gotta
ready.
be on the way.
It means that most of it has been shown to the classification board, if not all of it, in terms of what to expect in the game. So does that mean that it's all been coded and good to go? Probably. Or does that mean that they've just showed from the PS version what they want to put into it? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I mean, if it looks like it's probably going to come maybe in the next 3 or 4 months. I've got no idea, of course, but I'm guessing that because if they're getting ready for classification, they're probably wanting to get that thing gold ASAP. You know?
Yeah. True. So anyway, there's that. There's some super chats which we missed.
Oh yes.
We got. Are you going to do a review of Destiny 2? Shadowkeep says Andrew for $10. Of course I am, man.
Yeah, and my impressions on here.
My entire week next week is streaming Destiny 2
When's it out?
live on Twitch. It's out on the 2nd of October,
Ooh.
which I think is like the 3rd Australia, in Australia. I'll be live on Twitch all week and probably the week after that playing Destiny. Come and check out the Twitch chat and the stuff going down. And
I might do a bit of streaming on that too then.
we will definitely review it.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Trappist Indigenous, I love your shit. Okay.
Love you, man.
Don't know what that means, but thank you,
Thank you
Percy.
very much.
And Mark with Canadian $5. Thank you, Marky Mark.
Thank you, man.
And
Appreciate you.
what's next? This story here.
Are we even going to be able to get all through this?
We're not going to be able to get through everything today,
Okay.
but we'll get through all the good stuff. Don't
What
worry.
is the... Yeah, we got to pick
So
the good
developers
stuff.
raise alarm over their cut of Google Play Pass subscription money. So one of the things that's going on right now is that there is a shift towards subscription-based services in video games. We've already seen it in music. We've already seen it in movies and television. Now we're seeing it in video games. We already had EA with their Origin Pass. More recently, Ubisoft set up their Uplay Plus. We've got Game Pass on Xbox, which is crazy value, by the way.
Very good value.
Super good value.
We've got Google Pass and we've got Apple
Arcade. So it's a big move towards
a lot of big
that now.
players. And look, Stadia. Oh, sorry. What was the other one that was going to be big? Stadia, of course, but that wasn't on monthly subscription. There was something else coming out. I mean, there's the EA one that's going to be happening soon.
already
Also,
out.
in terms of the streaming, in terms
that's
of
cloud
5G
streaming.
streaming,
Yeah, sure.
the cloud streaming is also coming. In terms of that's going to be another revolution. In terms of just monthly subscriptions. I do see that this is going to be the way that games in general end up getting monetized.
Yeah.
Of course, there is going to be always a place to buy them, but just like movies and music, that's going to be where most games will be kind of played.
So here's what's interesting about this, and this is actually something that I covered in a review of Assassin's Creed Odyssey a while back, which is when you start putting stuff on streaming platforms, the algorithm for those streaming platforms starts to matter a lot, okay? And what you started to see was that average song length increased across music because on streaming platforms, time listened matters. So it's like with YouTube. The reason why YouTubers do 1001 is because the algorithm likes videos that are 1001, right? So that's why you see YouTubers like us go to 1001, right? They don't do 10 minutes exactly, they do 10 minutes and 1 second. Content is influenced and serves the algorithm that's out there, okay? So what this article is basically talking about here, there's a few different things, but one of them they talk about is the idea that games themselves will kind of morph to better engage players in ways that are going to be rewarded by these algorithms.
It'll be more in tune with the algorithm.
Because the revenue model for this, it says here, developers earn a royalty that incorporates time subscribers spend in their app and captures how users value all types of content, from weather apps to epic, endless
Just
runners.
put Anthem on there. Like the loading screen will make EA
right,
a shit
true.
ton because you're sitting there for hours waiting for that game to start. That's the way to do it.
So see, this is in the pay-per-stream model. Artists are motivated to accrue spins rather than devoted fans by any means necessary. A catchy 3-minute earworm that begins to play ad nauseum generates more revenue than a longer, less repeatable track, even if the same number of people listen to the song every month, right? So that's what I'm talking about, where content begins to morph and change on the basis of these algorithms, okay? The main criticism with this royalty model is that it seemingly rewards artists and developers for creating games that can hold a person's interest for longer than its competitors, which is obviously what you want to do.
But that's already
games.
happening, though.
Yeah, but I feel like there are different, trickier, more bullshit ways to hold people's attention, force them to grind, rather than creating, like, for example, all the stuff that we're seeing in, like, these open world games, with all this RPG bullshit and all that stuff. I think you'll probably see more of that in these games because they think, well, we need to take up more of players' time because that's going to result in more subscription dollars for us coming through.
I think that's a short-looking game because I just think that, you know, a lot of these developers know now if you're just making grindy, shitty things, people won't stick around. If there's a constant reward and value getting served to the consumer every single time they log on by not just giving them grindy shit, but like meaningful content, that's the way to keep people around. So I understand where you're going with that.
This handles it really well. This quote. Read this quote. It says, think about it like this. If it took you 3 hours to beat the Untitled Goose Game, which you haven't played, by the way, we need to play that, that probably would have translated into a payment of a few nickels rather than the $20 or so you paid for it, indie game developer Will O'Neill says in a tweet. Indie game developers are not indie musicians. We don't tour. We can't flip out singles quickly to take a blind shot at some godlike curator at a streaming service. Nobody likes photos of us. This is not a future that finds a new equilibrium. So what he's basically saying is that if everyone is buying their shit from streaming services, then or getting their strip from streaming services, then the Untitled Goose Game probably doesn't get made because developers think, well, we need to make some gacha-style, long grind RPG bullshit that takes up heaps of people's time because that's the only way we're going to see a long-term return on investment.
Potentially, I do think that there's probably going to be a best of both worlds there. There's going to be a streaming service that has certain types of games that will thrive, then other games like, you know, I don't know, Death Stranding 2 and, you know, God of War and all these games that people will tune in for regardless of the price tag. And there'll always be a market for that because gamers in general have already been conditioned for many years and for many years going forward, I believe, that they will pay for the value. They will pay for what they know will be quality, you know? So I understand the concern there. I do think the algorithm and the whole streaming thing will have a fundamental shift on how some games are made. Having said that, I do think that, you know, God of War 2, if streaming is like an epidemic by then, I do think that Corey can still charge you $80. And
of course he can. It's not about that. It's of course
it's about the indies that don't have a name yet.
Correct. Yeah, it's about the smaller stuff, and it's about how. And I think that we've already seen so many games transformed in pursuit of the live service model. We've already seen so many games transformed in
the Battle Royale model and shit like that.
No, not Battle Royale. That's a genre. I'm talking about like games are now microtransaction platforms rather than video games in a lot of instances because that's what shareholders demand. And I feel like you're going to add another demand here with streaming where the algorithm is going to reward a certain type of game. And if everyone is on these streaming platforms and that's the only way that you get your games, there's a risk that there's just not enough good quality stuff coming from the indie scene, which is a damn shame.
Yeah, and look, we might even see a tiered system where you buy the game or you don't buy the game and you can expect the game to be 20 hours longer because they need you to play it longer. In terms of just like shitty, grindy stuff like we've seen in Assassin's Creed Odyssey where you could get a level booster or you could just sit there and do shitty quests the whole time, you know?
Sure.
So I wonder if that is going to be in fact more of a tiered system. And if everyone understands that algorithm, it might be accepted where I don't think it should be accepted. But if everyone understands that that's the way that they need to make their money in terms of staying in the algorithm, I could see that becoming an accepted practice in the industry, you know? Like you either pay $40 for it or you paid like, you know, your streaming money and then you got to play for a lot longer to get the same experience, you know?
Anyway, that was a pretty intense discussion for a Laymen Live. We just sort of just belt out, you know, low quality news items and just laugh at them and move on. So
no memes.
So we Mark I think gave $5 Canadian. Thank you very much. Jacqueline with $5 Canadian says good job recommending Remnant. Bad job with Gears 5. Fair enough,
I liked Gears 5.
I thought Gears 5 was great.
I thought it was not bad.
Sir Ralph Shillington, Whitest of Nights. Hey, Flogs, will Thick Boy grace the scene again? Yes, he will. I love your name, by the way. It's a very good name. Will James, £5. Next Nintendo video in Mario and Luigi costumes. Yongye cameo with him dressed as Waluigi. I'd watch that video.
I would watch that.
That'd be a great fucking thumbnail.
We are going to do another Yongye video. Don't worry, guys.
Let's try and make that happen at E3. Who should Angry Joe dress as then?
Ooh, what does he look like? Maybe Wario? I don't know.
I don't know. That'd be all the boys together.
That would all the boys together.
Yeah,
all the boys together.
Maverick6 with $2. Will I review Breakpoint? I won't review it, but I'll probably do an impressions video this weekend. I do not like it. So anyway, we've got only 6 minutes left. Let's talk about some of the bad news. This is something we mentioned very briefly.
Bad news, I love it.
On yesterday's show. Borderlands 3 has sold 5 million copies after its first 5 days of launch, making Borderlands 3. Well, okay, it's bad news in the sense that a lot of people were really hoping that this would take a hit as a result of the Epic Games Store. I'm personally glad that this game has done well because of the fact that it's a good game that deserves to sell.
Yeah, I think it's
it's bittersweet because Randy Pitchford is a douchebag, and 2K are fucking douchebags.
Look,
it's bittersweet because I would like them to not be successful, but I do want the game itself to be successful.
Look, it's complicated because the road to release was very rocky, and there was a lot of shit that went down. Submato thing, the USB or whatever. Like, there's so many things that happened with Randy and the game in general. But I've always taken the stance, like, if the game is good, I want it to get the recognition and success that I think it deserves. Because, again, the devs working on it and stuff, like, they put their heart and soul into it. So it's it's complicated, really. It's hard to, like, want it to fail when it's a good game and those devs deserve that success. For sure. So, look, so it is a bad day, though. It's a dark day for exclusives because a lot of devs are going to be looking on at this and going, awesome, this paid off, let's sign that contract with Epic.
Well, at the same time excuse me, I'm sure it would have done better had it been on Steam, but I think
maybe not. Maybe they got their money
at
from
least a
Epic.
few percentage points is what I'm saying.
But the amount of money they made from Epic,
I agree.
And on top of that, most people a lot of people in our comment sections and like Reddit comment sections were like, I'm not buying this game. I'm guessing a lot of people ended up jumping on because their friends were playing it, or they're just excited about the release,
Yeah, I think that's
this whole March 2020 thing went out the window.
It's like that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 boycott. I told you that story, right?
No.
Yeah, there's a very famous screenshot of like a Steam group called Boycott Modern Warfare 2.
That's
because they wanted dedicated servers.
And they all
and then on the day of launch, you look at the members of that boycott group, and they're all playing Modern Warfare 2. You know what I mean? When it comes to boycotts in the video games industry, it very rarely has an impact. At the end of the day, people love what they love and they want to play it. Do you know what I mean? So that's a thing that happens. With Borderlands 3, as I said, it's good that this game is done well because I think it is a good game that deserves to be successful.
Sure.
Gearbox worked hard on it. You can tell that. And that's good. But at the same time, Randy sucks, 2K sucks.
Yeah. Exactly right. Like, Randy's a complicated fellow. Like, he's obviously...
I don't think he's complicated. I think he's just a douchebag.
I think that he has the capacity to make really brilliant games, or at least be, I
think he's a leader of a studio that makes good games.
Yeah, but
that's how I would say it.
I think that he would have had an integral part in making that game great. He is the director of that. He's going to be part of.
No, I don't think he's not the game director. He's the CEO. He's the CEO of Gearbox.
Sure, but he's going to be.
I think he's doing more magic tricks than he's doing game dev.
Maybe,
okay?
but I believe that he would be an integral part in a lot of the decision making. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, he's a bit of, like we've had our problems with Randy. But who knows if he actually was an integral part in making this game quite successful in terms of the choices they made. Who knows?
For sure. Ben Siak with $50. Thank you very much. When will Satan from Activision show up again?
We'll have to do another opening meme with him.
That's right.
Okay?
He was a good thing.
He was a good thing.
And Jacqueline with another $20. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. To elaborate on Gears 5, my friends and I had terrible time with co-op. Lots of disconnects and other issues. Still love you and appreciate you guys. Best reviews on YouTube other than this one outlier. Well, I appreciate that a lot. I can understand what you're saying about Gears 5. I know there are a lot of problems with the online infrastructure at the start. I didn't experience any of those because we were in the review phase where I think it was like less load on the servers. Yeah. But I definitely heard about lots of problems with that otherwise. So anyway, look, we've got 2 minutes to go. Let's do our last story. Actually, it does relate to Epic Games Bad, so it's a neat segue for us.
That's good.
Which is that Epic Games paid 10 million euros for Control.
9.49 million.
Thank you, Sam. That's a very important difference.
To make sure we get it right.
According to Digital Bros, so basically, Digital Bros is the parent company that I'm trying to think. Here we go. A report revealed about Digital Bros, a parent company of 505 Games. Okay, they were paid 10 million euros for Control exclusivity on Epic Games Store. This is big news because there's been a lot of questioning up to this point about how much Epic is paying for these exclusives. And now we know, as in, like, for one game like Control, which is not a massive game. It's kind of like a mid-tier sort of, like, double A style game.
It's not indie, but it's definitely it's on the radar of, like, this is a lot of, it's definitely in the middle there. But, we'll get to it, but my God, how much did they pay for Borderlands?
Correct.
Holy
I can't
shit.
imagine how much they paid for
Borderlands.
Borderlands.
Like, what, 50 million or some shit? Like, it
but let's also remember, Fortnite money is like Saudi oil prince money. They have all the money in the fucking universe at Epic.
And I remember reading on a few months ago that it was either generating 100 million or 200 million a month, something like that.
Yeah, I reckon like Tim
Horrendous.
Sweeney just reached into his. They're like 10 million. He's like.
Yeah,
He's like, they're like 9.49 million. He's like, have you got change for 10 million euros? You know what I mean? Like, it would have been like that for Tim Sweeney.
Yeah.
So, look, that's how it goes. That's Epic. They got all the money in the universe. It looks like they're not slowing down with their exclusive stuff. And clearly, it's not really slowing down the games either because Borderlands seem to do quite well. I don't know how Control sold, but we'll find out later on, I guess, if they release numbers. But guys, that is Laymen Live for the week.
Thank you, guys.
We want to thank you for being an awesome audience. Let's see if we missed any super chats before we wrap up. Did we... Where's my super chat thing? Where'd it
Where's
go?
it gone? There it is.
I'm gone. Oh, wait, is it
There
here?
it is.
It's here. Okay, right. No, that's it. We've got all the super chats. Guys, that's it. Next
Thank you
week,
so much,
we'll be
guys.
back with another Layman Live. We're going to do a Breakpoint impressions on Monday, most likely.
Probably, yep.
TLDR, we think it sucks. And
think it
then
sucks.
Destiny's out. Follow me on Twitch, Skill Up YT on Twitch.
Yep.
Stream Destiny with me all week. Let's hang out. Let's do some shit together. Thank you very much for being awesome.
Love you, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Young out.